Hey, we're off to the auction this morning. I have a special guest with us today. We've got Eric Hammer. He's my brother-in-law. He does road racing and he's got a lot of experience with cars. Tell him what your channel name is.
Currently, it is Pupra, which is named after the license plate of my 2022 Toyota Supra.
So Pooper, we'll put a link down in the description if you want to check out his channel. He's got some racing videos on there.
A few, yeah, but so need to get more.
He'll be doing more content and stuff like that. But today, we're going to show you guys what are some good beginner cars for someone wanting to get into racing. We're going to 2 separate auctions this morning. We're going to check these cars out, give you some pointers from an expert, and then we're also going to tell you what they sold for, or maybe we'll buy one ourselves. We're not sure on that yet, but we're heading up there. It's a rainy morning, kind of got some slush snow mixed in there, but we're going to get on the road and we'll patch you in as soon as we get to the auction and give you some pointers and show you what are some good vehicles to start with for road racing.
A few moments later.
Here's a great example of one that you could pick up if you had lots of money, but that's not really what we're looking for here. This is just a repo, and this is a, let's see what year this one is. A 2022 Corvette. It's only got 7,000 miles on it. Doors are locked, we can't check it out. It ran through the auction this morning on an if bid. I'll give you an update on what that number was this afternoon when they post that, but let you know what somebody was willing to pay. There's no guarantee they're going to take their bid on it.
Again, with the 2009 Mini Cooper S, showing just some of the body damage. I mean, none of this is going to affect anything. It's just going to deter from the value, which, again, cheap race cars are good race cars. But yeah, there's nothing structurally wrong that they're claiming or that we can find. There's some dents, some dings, bad paint, missing antenna, which again, that just is going to make it so that somebody who really wants a nice car not going to bid on it.
All right, so we're sitting in this 2009 Mini. So this is a good candidate for a little racer. And why is that again?
Minis have always made good race cars. Being that the body on this one has a lot of little problems, it's generally going to mean they're going to sell for cheap, and cheap race cars are good race cars.
All right, so if you can find some body damage, some imperfections, it's going to bring the price down. That's going to help you out in the long run because you're not going to be paying for something that's perfect that somebody's looking to keep in their garage and drive to church on Sundays. So
yep, and if you're putting a car on track, it's probably going to get some damage to the body.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. And this one is a manual. Looks like a little 6-speed. So
2016 Subaru BRZ. These make phenomenal track cars. They're small, they're light, they're very nimble, they make decent power. This one does have 122,000 miles on it. Exterior has lots of little bits of issue, little bits of damage, which again will just deter from the value. The interior on this one is in really good shape though, and it is also stick shift, which always makes for fun track cars.
all right, we're sitting in this, what is this one?
2016 Subaru BRZ.
BRZ. So this one just actually ran through the auction and it did not sell. They had $7,000 was kind of the floor they were going for on it, and people weren't bidding on it. So this is something that'll probably drop around $5,000, I'd imagine, is where it would sell at. So this is a good beginner car as well.
Yeah, especially if it does go for that $5,000 mark. That would be a great deal on a car like this for somebody starting off, because you don't want to start with an expensive car, because if you ever crash it, it hurts.
Yeah, and this one is another 6-speed manual. So I'm noticing a theme here. He's picking these 6-speed manuals out for these cars to race around in. So once again, disclaimer, we're not talking about street racing, we're talking about legal racing, guys. So we're not giving you any advice on illegal racing. But yeah, this is another option here. So sorry about the wind. I'm not sure how great it sounds when we're outside of the cars. Nothing we can do about that today. So, but here's another option. Let's go find another one.
2010 Nissan 370Z, 154,000 miles. These cars do make great driving track cars, and Nissan also has their little incentive program, so you can actually win stuff. You get competitive level with this. This one, again, has a lot going on with the body. Bumper is unpainted. Side has some damage. So this one would definitely be a good candidate for another track car and should sell for decently cheap because of all the exterior damage. So this one has had a broken window at one point. If you listen carefully, I don't know if you can hear all the broken glass rattling around inside the door. That's a fun project to clean out.
All right, here's the inside of this one. I'll try to pull out and show you a view of it as well, but we can talk in here without the wind, so it's a little bit easier for us. So tell us about this one inside here, Eric.
So this one is not in bad shape on the interior, which is always an upside. Downside is this one is an automatic, so that makes for a lot less fun. Also, generally automatic cars are a little weaker, and will have more issues.
Geared a little different.
They're geared a little different. The transmissions sometimes will have issues when you really start beating on them. This one does have paddle shifters, which makes it feel fun.
It's a little bit cooler, huh?
Yep.
Let's go rev that one up. Let's listen to that. You guys can hear that? That sounds pretty good. So, nice little car though. We're actually really comfortable in here. So.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the inside of it. Kind of a cool looking car. There's those paddle shifters there.
Scion FRS. I don't know what year, but this one is really, really, really rough. If it runs and has no structural damage, which we can't figure all that out, this would be a great candidate because it is really rough. So it will sell for cheap. I'd be surprised if this one got to $5,000. All the paint mismatch, all the damage from what looks like somebody attempting to be a drifter.
All right, so we got done with the auction. I've got some results for you. I've got Eric here with me. Some of these results he doesn't know. I didn't share all of them with him. We didn't buy anything from the auction, so the ones that we were looking at weren't really in the price that we wanted, but we'll go through and show you these results. We have the Camaro and the Shelby Mustang on here as well. I've got their results from the auction, what happened with them. So pretty interesting information. So, all right, so let's go ahead and pull these up here. I've got them on a paper I wrote down just so we could kind of go over those. So that Fisker, we showed you that electric car. I think that was the first one we were looking at.
Yeah.
So that sold if bid, meaning if the seller accepts it, they have a day to kind of come back and say, yeah, we'll take that amount because it didn't meet their reserve, was $15,000. So how many miles were on that?
I think that was around 400, which in the EV world would be maybe 2 chargers worth.
Yeah.
So that's like putting 2 tanks of gas in your car and then going to, I think that one was a repo as well.
Yeah, it was.
But like we were kind of talking off camera, 15,000 is really where the market is for that car right now, because with Fisker going through their bankruptcy, there's so much uncertainty with what's going to happen, what's going to be able to happen with those. And so you could buy it for 15 grand and then next week you could have a problem with it and there's no place to take it to.
Yeah.
So you're just sitting there with a car that doesn't work, that you can't work on.
Yeah, we noticed some condition issues on that too. Just even the doors to open them, we couldn't get in that driver's side because it was just a little messed up.
Door handles were all semi-broken, partially broken.
Didn't seem like very good quality, but maybe that's why they went out.
I do like how they look, and before they did all their bankruptcy, I was actually interested in one, but
yeah,
definitely worked out that didn't get one.
Didn't do that.
Yeah.
Be sitting on it now. So sorry if you bought one. Okay, so 2022 Corvette. That's the orange one we saw there. So that one sold for $68,000, but also on an if bid. So they had to accept it. Seemed about fair though on the price. So they maybe came to an agreement. I didn't see it relisted yet. So possibly that one is sold. The Mini Cooper we were looking at, we went to the other auction before it ran through, but it actually did sell and it is gone. It is $3,200 that one sold for.
That's a good deal.
So
that's a good price. And like was mentioned earlier, Mini has always historically made good cars for track purposes. I haven't personally driven one of those, but I have talked to a lot of people that have and do, and they love them because they're small, they're pretty light, parts are easily accessible, and they're not crazy expensive. So that always makes for a nice track car, especially when you get it for $3,200.
Yeah.
That's a really good deal.
And it's so small that I couldn't even tell where it was when I was looking at the results. It was hidden by the sale label. So, yeah, little car. The 2016 Subaru BRZ. So that one did not sell. So they were trying to get $7,000 out of it, $7,000 out of it, and nobody would do it. So they just said no sale. They put it back through. It'll be in the auction again this next week. So the 370Z, that one was the same thing. That was a no sale. It wouldn't meet their reserve. They wanted $9,500. They have it on the auction right now where you can go in and just buy it for $9,500 without even bidding. But nobody's doing that. It'll be in there next week as well. So
does it tell you what it got bid up to?
It doesn't, and we weren't watching that one live, but that 9,500 is what they were holding on. So I think we just missed that one when we were
that
going
one
through.
went through. I think right before the Scion.
Yeah. So
or Subaru.
The Scion FRS, that was the last one we looked at that first auction. That one did not sell this week, but it had previously sold for $1,600 and then was put back in the auction. So somebody bought it for $1,600 as a repo. A credit union had it in there listed, and then they went and looked at it and they were like, whoa, what did we buy? They put it right back in the auction. So it's in there again. It didn't sell. Sometimes those need some time in between for people to forget what it was.
And my guess on that one is someone bought it for themselves to drive, or someone bought it for their child to drive, and then when seeing it, because that car was in pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
So my guess is once they saw it, they're like, no, this is going to take too much work to get back to good condition. But for $1,600, that's a
true.
phenomenal deal. Even if it has a blown engine and transmission, you could get that car back on the road if you can do the work yourself for $5,000, and
then you'd have a new engine and transmission.
Exactly, and there was nothing wrong that I could see with the car preventing it from again making a good track car. So $1,600 would be a super good deal on that car.
So yeah, I mean, there are some good deals out there if you're willing to put in the work. But if you were going to take that to a mechanic and say, "Hey, I need an engine and transmission," it's going to put you way over finding a running operational one.
Because at that point, by the time you get done with it, you're going to be getting closer to 10 grand, and at that point, why not just buy one in much better shape?
Yeah. All right. So the video ended up going a lot longer than we thought. We found a lot more things, more stuff to talk about. So we're doing a part 2. That part 2 is going to go through and go over all those prices. It'll kind of tell you guys everything of the auction, maybe a few more tips in there, but watch that one. It's going to come right out basically immediately. We just didn't want this to be a super long video. I know some people won't click on them because it is too long. So, but yeah, so we'll have a part 2. Check that out. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. We appreciate all of your comments. Once again, Eric's channel is linked in the description. You can reach out and send him comments too if you have any questions on any advice. He'd probably be happy to give that to you. So,
well, yeah, I could honestly, we can make probably an hour-long video just talking about car stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Easy.
So, appreciate you guys. Thank you.